Hello everyone, so I'm back with another sort of tutorial video, and today I'm going to do the long-awaited video on how to remove a McDonald's Barbie. So one of these mini Happy Meal McDonald's Barbie dolls for rerooting and such. So this one I've actually had for quite the while. This one I got back in 2004, 2003, somewhere in there. And as you can see, she is the children's Dr. Barbie, but she has the Kyra face. I'm not sure if they actually made one with the Kyra face, because I know there's an African American, a Hispanic, which is like the Teresa one, and then the Caucasian blonde. But I wasn't ever aware that they made an Asian one, but they did with the McDonald's version. So this one has the Kyra face mold, or the Miko face mold, whichever you want to call it. And I got her. It was back in 2003 or 2004. My friends at the time in the apartment complex, they were like, well, it was my friend Lauren and then her little sister Danielle. They had this tiny little box full of stuff and they were running around with it. Like, oh, we're having a little yard sale and stuff like that. And by the end of the day, they just gave this doll to me. So, and I really, really wanted her because I collected the McDonald's Happy Meal Barbies and I'd never seen this one up until that point. As you can see, she has seen better days. She actually does have an ink stain on her forehead that has faded quite a lot. You can see, like, in the middle of her forehead, there's a little bit of a mark, like a little bit of a grayish spot there. But yeah, that's from an ink pen, I guess. My friend's little sister drew on her or something at some point. But all the other damage, like the missing paint and stuff and the frizz to her hair, that was all from me, like from me trying to brush her hair, and the paint coming off was from me carrying her around and stuff like that. So I had tried to restore her before, but without further ado, I'm going to show you how. Hopefully this goes well. I have some boiling water here, and I just heated it up in the microwave. And what you're literally going to do with one of these is you're going to try to submerge the doll from, like, the entire head to, like, the neck area, because you don't want the neck to get too soft so it doesn't stretch out or whatever. Because the neck is made of, like, a flexible vinyl. So usually I cut the hair off beforehand before I do this, but that's going to take a while, and then I'd have to heat my water back up. So here we go, and her head goes. And I will... Yeah, and you can see all these teensy-weensy little bubbles at the bottom. Now, when you're boil washing doll hair, Kanekalon hair especially, like Barbie-grade Kanekalon, that's all you need is these teensy, tiny, itty-bitty little bubbles. You don't need it actually rapidly boiling. That is going to wrinkle the hair up. So yeah, I am submerging her head completely to about the midpoint of her neck. I'm just going to hold her in there for like a minute or so, or a few seconds. And the hot water, the boiling water, should be enough to loosen the adhesive enough to where you can pop her head right off. So some dolls are going to have a bigger neck flange holding the head on, some aren't. So take her out. Oh yeah. And there you have it. It was that easy. The head popped right off. So yeah, all the, let me see if I can focus it. So yeah, the adhesive has completely melted, and that's what you're left with. when you pop the head off. So yeah, and here's her head. It's just like a regular Barbie head. It's hollow on the inside. Note the newer McDonald's Happy Meal Barbies, not all of them are like this. And especially the ones where you can't see any rooted hair. Like sometimes the head will just be made of plastic and they'll have like, I guess they'll shove like a screw or a nail through the head and they'll wrap the hair around that and then they'll put a hat on the doll. So like some dolls that have hats on and then they have hair, you know, they'll have a plastic hat or a helmet. That's usually the mechanism for that, so their hair isn't actually rooted. The hair, in order for you to be able to do this, the hair has to be rooted in, like you can see here. So now it's just like a regular Barbie head, and I will go through the process of taking out the hair now. Because as you can see, I could flat iron this hair, but it's got loads of split ends and crap. And when it gets split ends, it dries out really bad and turns like a whitish color, so it just looks really unattractive. So I can actually put her head back on now because I've disconnected the adhesive, like I've melted it and everything, so her head isn't actually glued on anymore. And to pop the head back on, you just kind of push a little bit and there you have it, it's back on again. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be saving her hair. I know that she's a one that I've had for a long time. So, but yep, here we go. We're going to cut all her hair off. And I already do have some hair for her. So yeah, there's her old hair. And then we'll just finish the job. Cut her bangs off. I have to make sure I'm doing this on camera. I really have a problem with doing things off camera. And I know my younger audience is going to, because I know there are younger people watching my videos. I know they're going to hate this. They never like me cutting doll hair off. But they're younger people, so I don't expect them to understand what's happening here. Now, the story behind rerooting, my story behind rerooting doll hair is I'd actually done this before. My very first doll, I removed her hair plugs on. I actually cut a hole in her head because I didn't know that you could just go in through the neck hole. I was that dumb. And so I like scraped some tweezers and scissors around on the inside and pulled the hair plugs out. And then the second one I did it to was a Jewel Girl Barbie that my friend gave me that she cut the hair off of really short. But then I was just left with bald dolls. But part of me knew that there was a way that you could get the hair back in, but I was like 12 at the time, so I couldn't figure it out. So yeah, that's my little story behind rerooting. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it here. Yeah, I might have to, because I don't want to break the neck flange. Her head isn't glued on anymore, but I will pop her back into the hot water just to make it easier to pull her head off. So yeah, but her head isn't glued on anymore, so. But I just don't want to take a chance on breaking the neck flange. Okay. So yeah, usually it should just pop right off. Now some of these have bigger neck flanges, some of them have smaller ones. So I'm literally going to go in with my tweezers and scrape the hair out. And I'm going to focus it so you guys can really get in there and see what I'm doing. So I'm literally sticking one of these in her head and I'm scraping just like I would a regular Barbie head with the screwdriver. Here, I'm going to turn this way so that I have more room. Now, one thing, these Happy Meal Barbies, they do have glue in their heads from when they glued the head on to the neck. So it's not glue that's meant to keep the hair in. Well, I mean, I guess it could aid in that, but it's mainly... Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see all those hair plugs went in. But the glue is mainly to keep children, anybody who roughhouses with these, from pulling the heads off. That's what the glue's purpose is for. It's not like when Mattel was putting glue in Barbie heads to keep the hair in. I'm so glad nowadays that the hair is melted in, like they stick something hot inside the head. I don't know if it's a lighter or something like that, but they are sticking something inside the head to melt all the plugs, and I think that's brilliant. They actually used to do that back in the 90s, because I've taken out, like, I've taken out doll hair from, like, gone to reroot 90s dolls before. And I did that with an Ariel doll from Mattel from the 90s, and I noticed that some of her hair plugs were actually melted. So they've been doing that for a while. Yeah, and you'll have to excuse if the dog starts barking. She is crazy. There could literally be a leaf brush, like, blow past the door and scrape it. Like, make a scraping noise, or maybe there was a bird or something that would come by and land on the front porch, and she will just go absolutely bonkers. So, and I'm not fancy like a lot of other YouTubers, so I'm not going to edit it out. So yeah, she will go crazy. Yeah, it's a little harder doing this with a with one of these, because the head is super tiny. But once you get all the hair out, you should be good. And you can, as usual, just like a regular Barbie head, you could choose whatever hair color you want to root in. You could even get acetone and remove the paint on the head and paint the scalp whatever color you want it to be. You know, it's just like a regular Barbie. The only thing I would advise you not to do is use a rerooting tool on these tiny heads, because they've got much smaller hair plugs and they're a lot closer together. So if you use a rerooting tool, chances are you're gonna poke some holes in her head that you didn't want there. So I need to look for I got another screwdriver somewhere. I've got a tinier one somewhere. Using the tweezers to get this hair out. So I guess I'll try to do this off camera, and then I will come back when her head is completely bald. Okay, so her head is more or less bald now. Let me see if I can focus. There we go. Thank you. So yeah, she had quite a bit of hair. Yep, she had quite a bit of hair. I had to go in and cut some hair. I had to do some trimming on the back because some of the hair was literally matted together because of not being brushed. So now I'm gonna try to go in the tweezers and pull the hair out. This is the more difficult part because, in my experience, the tweezers only want to pull out like a tiny amount of hair each time. But once you get enough of it out, then eventually you'll pull out this huge glob of hair. And that pretty much gets out all of it. Okay, so there's a big portion. Sometimes you can literally just go in and pull it out. with your hand. Okay. Come on. I know it can come out. It's probably a huge wad of glue and hair that's just like stuck together. Yeah, a lot of brute force winds up going into this. Okay, we're getting there. Oh, jeez. Oh yeah, see, you can see all the glue. And it's all disintegrated. All that glue has completely disintegrated. This doll is from 2001, so that is some old glue right there. Oh, and there goes another bit. She had a lot more hair in her head than these usually come with, so there's a lot more hair plugs. Yeah, so basically 2 big old chunks. Oh, here comes some more. But wait, there's more. Oh my lord. Even more. Holy freaking crap. Okay. Now her head is empty. Finally. That first big piece that came out, I thought that was it, but no. Okay, so now, yeah, you can see that. Now that her head is empty, it's very, very squishy, like a regular Barbie doll head. Oh, yeah. And now you know why I'm very eager to save her, because she has such a beautiful face. Let me see if I can... Yes, there we go. I love the Kyra face. Some people say Kira, but I say Kyra. Yep, there's all those holes in her head. Oh yeah, but she has such a magnificently beautiful face. So of course I'm gonna save her. And of course the spot on her forehead, that you can just put some acne medication on that and it should go away. You put the acne medication on there, stick her out in the sun, and that should bleach out. So, yep, so for those of you who requested this video for so long, there you go. And I just pop her head back on like nothing ever happened. And she is ready to receive new hair. Jeez. Literally like 3 humongo globs of that stuff came out of her head. Yeah. Then again, like I said, she had a lot more hair than they usually give these. What I might do is, because I have a needle, what I might do is go like right in here, because I hate little bald areas, so I might add some more holes. So I could add like 2 here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then add maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, just fill her head with hair plugs so that, you know. But that's just me. That's just my pet peeves when I'm looking at doll hair rooting. I usually like my dolls to be loaded with hair. So, even though originally she had a lot of hair, I'm assuming they also made her hair plugs very thick. So yeah. I will also have to like touch up some of the paint. She's gonna need a good wash because she is dirty. So yeah. I've had this doll for many, many years. So, and she will be getting new hair very soon. So hopefully I will come back with a video on how to root the hair in. You'll need a much smaller needle to do that. so that you don't risk breaking any of the holes in her head, like ripping them open and creating a mess. So anyhow, that's my video on the long-awaited how to remove Happy Meal Barbie's heads and take out their hair. So you got to see me do it all on camera. Used to, I would literally just pull their heads up like this and get a sewing needle and pick at the glue, like the adhesive, and wiggle their head around until it popped off. But recently, I was like, let me try dunking their head in hot water, like boiling water. And sure enough, the glue loosened up and the head slid right off the neck peg. These were some other new ones, like from, I want to say like 2013, somewhere in there. 2014, there were some newer ones, and they had a smaller neck peg than this one had, so their heads just popped right off once I took them out the boiling water. So this one has a bigger flange, like a bigger neck peg, so it was a little more difficult to get her head off. So, but as you can see, it's perfectly possible, and now you guys know how to do it if you're up for the challenge of rerooting one of these little gems. So anyhow, thank you guys for watching. More videos to come, and remember to stay true to you.